Are you ready to retire? How do you know for sure you're ready to retire? Some say you're ready to retire when you have $1 million saved. Other people say, well, what you talking about, Willis? It's 2026. $1 million isn't going to be enough. You need at least 3 million if you're going to retire. And others say if you have a healthy pension and you and your spouse each have Social Security, you should be able to squeak by on that. And so in this video, I wanted to talk about some of the signs, 7 signs that you might be ready to retire. And one sign is that your income can cover your expenses. Too often we think, once I've saved a certain amount of money, then I'm ready to retire. And what's my number? Is it $1 million? Is it 1.5 million? Is it 2 million? But the real key to whether or not you're ready to retire is, can you pay the bills? Because the bills are going to keep coming every month, even when you're retired. And 2 big bills that many retired people have are the mortgage and car payments. Or if you're not owning your own home, you've got those rent payments coming like clockwork every month. And I'm not saying at all that you can't retire if you have a rent payment or a mortgage payment or car payments. But what I will say is you're going to have to make your budget with those numbers as foundational. And a mortgage and a car payment can be an added stress to your retirement plan, especially if things pop up for which you are not prepared. A third annual expense will be, or monthly expense, if you want to call it that, is giving. You're going to want to continue to support your local church or the charitable causes that are close to your heart. And that's going to be something you'll want to budget in. Number 4, property taxes. If you own your own home, you know you're going to have to pay those. And one of the things that I found out in early retirement is the property tax bill is still going to come even when you're retired. And in our case, we get the property tax bill in December, and if we so choose, we can make the first payment by January 31st and the second payment by July 31st, or you can pay for the whole thing at once. But that's something you got to budget for. A 5th expense in the retirement plan is going to be your utilities, your heat, your electricity, your water, your sewage. You know, I found out that our water bill and sewage tripled all at once. And I thought they were kidding. I thought, you're either joking or pulling my leg or you got some wrong information. But then I got that water sewage bill and I found out their information was right on the money. And the utilities can be expensive and you need to make sure you are budgeted for them, that your income can handle those expenses. And then there's also homeowners insurance. There's auto insurance. If you and your spouse own vehicles, your auto insurance could be several $1,000s a year. And then there's gas for your vehicles. You know, your car probably runs on gas, unless you have an electric one. And right now, gas prices are pretty decent, but you know how it is in this world. Stuff can happen in the Middle East or stuff can happen in the geopolitical realm, and gas prices could shoot up like a rocket. And we could be paying $4 a gallon again or more. Right now, they're pretty good, but hope they stay good. And then there's vehicle maintenance. We all need to get our oil changes and things like that. But sometimes we need other things. This might be the year where you got to get 4 new tires. That's what I found out for me. I thought, well, I've got a ways to go. My tires are supposed to go 55,000 miles before I have to replace them. But after 35,000, I had no tread. Had to go in. Decided I'd get a little bit better tires this time that last a little longer. But will your income, will your savings and financial reserves be able to cover expected or unexpected vehicle maintenance? And then there's food and groceries. You know, another thing I found out is food costs the same even when you're retired. You can go to a restaurant and order off the senior menu or something like that, but you're still going to have to budget for that. And then health insurance, if you retire before Medicare age, you'll be paying the premiums on that. And my premiums are less than they were when I was working. But also, I have a $9,100 a year maximum out of pocket for my health insurance. And because of my health conditions, it's almost a guarantee I'm going to be paying that maximum out of pocket every year. And do I have the income and the reserves to cover that? Those are questions that we got to ask ourselves. And then there are dental costs. One of the biggest regrets of my life is that I didn't take better care of my teeth. Because not only does it hurt to get dental work, it hurts in the wallet just as much as it hurts in the mouth. So I urge you, out of my own failed experiences, after you're finished with your supper, brush your teeth, clean your mouth, and do it again right before you go to sleep. I guarantee your wallet will thank you, your mouth will thank you, your family will thank you. Dental expenses are crazy. You might have to get partial dentures. That's going to be $2,500, or bridge work, $5,000, an implant, $5,000, a crown, $1,400. Holy man, you might be able to budget money for dental work, but it's hard to prepare for how expensive stuff can be when you go in. So take care of your teeth. Toiletries and vitamins. Maybe you're married to somebody who likes to buy supplements. Those are expensive. Cell phones. Those are expensive to be on one of those plans. You might want to cut back and go to a lower cost plan. Internet, that could be $1,000 a year. Taxes, hopefully those will be lower than when you were working and had an income. Personal spending, I'm assuming you don't want to squeak by in retirement, that you want to enjoy life, you want to take some trips, you want to buy something for your spouse, something for yourself. Personal expenses, you'll have to have a line item for that. Entertainment and gifts. Christmas time, you spend a lot of money on gifts for grandkids and friends, family members. Then what about lawn maintenance care, snow removal? You say, well, I can do that all by myself, man. Well, now you might be able to, but when you get older and you have a heart condition, your spouse might say, you're not doing that anymore. You need to hire somebody to do that. And then you'll have to have a budget for that. So your income has to be able to cover your expenses in retirement. A second sign that you're ready to retire is you're no longer working out of fear. You could keep working, but you don't have to because you do have a nest egg. And a third sign that you're ready, and it relates kind of to the first point, is that your biggest debts are gone. If you don't have a mortgage, if your house is paid off, if you don't have any car payments, your cars are paid off, those are excellent signs that you might be ready to retire. Because that's going to be an extra several $1,000s that's available to you that wasn't available to you when you had the mortgage and the car payments. So that would be wonderful, if at all possible. And I know sometimes it's not. But if it is, try to get the house paid off before you retire and the car paid off. You don't have to, but you'll be glad you did if you could. And then number 4, another sign you're ready to retire or might be ready to retire is if you have an emergency fund for emergency expenses. My wife and I follow a variation of the 3 bucket system. In one bucket, we have 2 to 3 years of living expenses in checking and savings. We have another bucket, 7 to 8 years of living expenses in conservative money funds, mutual funds. And then we have the third bucket, that's in the stock market, hopefully growing. And then number 5, you've come to the place in your life where your health and energy matter more than making a few extra dollars in your nest egg. Maybe your health is having issues and you're like, you know what, it's not worth it. So what if I don't get quite to a certain amount of money in retirement that I hoped? I want to do it now while I still have my health, while my wife and I can do things together. If you feel that way, that could be a sign that you're ready emotionally for retirement. And number 6, if you're not retiring just from something, if you're retiring to something, then you might be ready to retire. If you have travel plans, or you want to get more involved with your church, or you want to serve other people, or do some ministry, if you have some goals and dreams that you're going to fulfill in retirement, if you have purpose and plan, then you might be ready. And number 7, if you have peace about the decision you're making. Now, I have 100% peace for the retirement that I just did. And I've learned to follow that. If I don't have peace about something, I don't do it. But if I do, then I rejoice in it. So these are the 7 signs that you might be ready to retire. I hope this video's been a blessing to you. You guys take care. We'll catch you in the next one.